According to FBI statistics, cannabis possession has been the #1 reason for arrest in the United States for decades. More arrests are made every year for cannabis possession than all types of violent crime combined. Even though the United States has seen almost half of its states legalize recreational cannabis in the last 10 years, 500,000 arrests were made for possession in 2020 alone. The overwhelming majority of these arrests happen not at the federal level, but at the state and local level. Government data shows that Black Americans are 4 times as likely to be arrested for possession than white Americans, even though Black and white Americans use cannabis at essentially the same rates. Cannabis is at the center of United States drug policy, and its status as either a medicinal or recreational drug is a complicated one that will help us set the stage for our understanding of the contemporary landscape of drug laws in the United States. Though it has been federally illegal in some form since 1937, a number of states have contradicted federal law by legalizing cannabis for either medical or recreational purposes. California was the first state to legalize cannabis medically in 1996, and over 30 states have followed suit since. Colorado and the state of Washington were the first states to legalize cannabis for recreational purposes in 2012, and almost half of the states in this country have done so since. These laws are by no means uniform. Regarding medical cannabis, many states, such as Arkansas, allow citizens to obtain a medical card on the recommendation of a doctor for a limited number of conditions. Usually, around 20 conditions are deemed appropriate for cannabis, such as MS, cancer, glaucoma, arthritis, etc. Oklahoma famously or infamously stands out as the one state in which no qualifying conditions have been put forth. Anyone over the age of 18 in the state of Oklahoma may qualify for a cannabis card regardless of the nature or severity of their medical conditions. When it comes to recreational or adult use cannabis, there is even less uniformity. How much cannabis a consumer may purchase at one time or keep on the person can vary widely from state to state. Exactly where people are allowed to consume cannabis is also something that varies not only from state to state, but from county to county. Some cities may allow public cannabis smoking, while others restrict this activity to the privacy of one's home. Some states with medical and recreational cannabis allow their citizens to grow their own cannabis, while in others, this is still illegal and even punishable by jail time. Regardless of whether you live in a state that has medical and/or recreational cannabis, there is at least one feature that holds for all: the illegality of transporting cannabis from your state to any other. It is illegal for individuals to cross state lines with cannabis, even if it is legal both in their home state and the one they are traveling to. This is because cannabis production, distribution, and consumption are all against federal law, which prevails over state law. The main federal law that is relevant for our purposes here is the Controlled Substances Act of 1970, also known as the CSA. The CSA places most of the known drugs in the country into one of 5 classes. Schedule 1 drugs are considered the most dangerous. They are defined as drugs which have a high potential for abuse and no accepted medical use. Moving down the schedules into 2, 3, 4, and 5, the dangers of the drugs allegedly decrease. That is, Schedule 2 drugs are considered less dangerous than those in Schedule 1. Those in Schedule 3 are thought to be safer than those in the Schedule 2 category, and so on. So examples of drugs in the Schedule 5 category include Lyrica and some cough medicines with less than 200 milligrams of codeine. Valium and Xanax are Schedule 4. Testosterone and anabolic steroids are Schedule 3. Schedule 2 drugs include Adderall, Vicodin, fentanyl, cocaine, and methamphetamine. These drugs can obviously be quite dangerous, but they still have some important medical applications. People are often surprised to find what drugs are classed in Schedule 1. LSD, MDMA, also known as Molly, psilocybin mushrooms, heroin, and of course, cannabis. Even though cannabis is federally illegal, and the federal government has conducted a number of raids over the years against medical marijuana operations, such as famously the raids in Northern California in 2001. On the whole, they have essentially allowed states to experiment with their own regulations. This has enabled a patchwork of cannabis laws to emerge across the country, and as stated earlier, there's no real uniformity here. What is allowed in one state with legal cannabis may be criminal in another state that also has legal cannabis. Another consequence of the current contradiction between state and federal cannabis laws is the lack of safety and environmental regulations. OSHA cannot offer guidelines for safe cannabis production due to the drug's Schedule I status. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to reading your discussion post this week.